friends, my name is Kim. Welcome back to Healing Cottage Homestead. Welcome to my kitchen. I am so happy to have you with me today. Today I am going to make a version, a little bit healthier version, not a lot, but a little bit healthier version of smothered pork chops. And by healthier, I just mean less carbs. So we're going to make this version without breading our pork chops. Which there's probably people who are saying, oh my gosh, how can you make smothered pork chops without breading your pork chops? And I don't know how it's going to taste, but we're going to give it a try. So I'm going to salt and pepper my pork. And I have my pan off the burner right now because I think I got the oil too hot. Now it sounds good. I can put it back on the stove. Or on the eye. This pan is barely big enough. I'm going to salt and pepper the second side. And we're just going to let these fry up in this oil. For a little bit. While those are frying up, we'll go ahead and chop up some onion. And I have my food processor out because I'm going to be making some red pepper jelly. I've told you that a couple times now and I haven't made it yet. But I have my peppers out and I accidentally put them in my bottom crisper, which apparently is set too high, and I froze them. We want pork chops to be at 145 and these are at 150. And I'm going to go ahead and tent them with tin foil. Actually, I'll cover them with the lid. We're going to go ahead and saute some onion. And we're going to let this saute until it's brown. And then we're going to add a little bit of garlic. Okay, I'm going to add about a quarter teaspoon of garlic. Which I know sounds like very little garlic for me. Let that fry up for a second. You don't want to let your garlic brown because it will get bitter, or if it burns, it will get bitter. So now we're going to add some flour. And this will be the only flour we're using. I'm going to start with a little bit. We'll need a little more. You want to let your flour brown. And we're going to go ahead and salt and pepper this. We're going to add some chicken stock. And you want to add enough that it's not quite gravy texture. So you add a little bit at a time and incorporate it in. And you want it to be thick, but not so thick that it's pasty. Like right now, mine is still pasty. And the reason you want it to be thick is because we're going to add some heavy cream. I think I need just a little bit more chicken stock or broth. I'm using broth, not stock. I'm almost out of my store-bought stock, and then I'll be able to start using my homemade stock. And we want to add 1/4 to 1/2 cup of heavy cream. And we'll let that cook for a little bit. I'm gonna, oh, I have a spoon here. I was gonna say I'm gonna grab a spoon, but I can just wipe off the garlic because I want to taste it to see how much, if I need to add more salt and pepper. Remember that unless you're using low sodium chicken broth or stock, you want to be sensitive to how much salt you add. You want to taste it after it's gotten to this stage. And I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is the thickness of our gravy right now. Just want to wipe off the garlic. Needs a little bit of salt, but not a lot. Since I'm the only person eating it, I'm going to re-dip my spoon. Perfect. Okay, this is what it looks like. They look quite beautiful. Even if they aren't fried, even if they aren't breaded, Make sure I get a little bit of onion. It's delicious. And that pork is cooked perfectly. I recommend that instant breed thermometer. It's the perfect tenderness. It's actually, you know me, I'm not into moist meat, and it could cook a little bit longer for me, but it's perfectly tender the amount of time that we cook them. And the gravy is delicious. It's absolutely delicious. Has a great flavor. It could use just a little bit more pepper, but you can do that to taste at the table. So I don't think I would necessarily add more pepper when I was cooking it, but allow people to decide for themselves if they need a little bit more pepper, because I'm someone who's sensitive to pepper. So I try to be sensitive to other people. So this version of smothered pork chops has 320 calories, and that's in one pork chop with about a quarter to a half a cup of gravy. And 19 grams of fat, 11 grams of carbs, 1 gram of fiber, so that brings us down to 10 net carbs, and 24 grams of protein. So I don't think that's bad at all. And like I said, they're absolutely delicious. So if you liked today's video, give it a thumbs up. I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel for more diabetic friendly recipes. I post videos every Tuesday and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern, always diabetic friendly, often low carb, sometimes gluten-free. Today we're not gluten-free, but if you wanted to make this gluten-free, you could use a gluten-free flour. I understand that King Arthur makes a flour that is pretty good for being gluten-free. I know that it's hard to imagine this as a healthy recipe because we did fry this. We fried it in olive oil. I forgot to mention that aspect. But we fried them in olive oil rather than vegetable oil or lard or shortening. Shortening's my preferred way of frying anything. And so instead I used that little bit of olive oil and then used that for the gravy. And I know we can't imagine that gravy is healthy for us, but as you can see, it fits into that diabetic friendly category of carbohydrates and other things. And the fat content is not too high. I mean, we're eating pork chops and we used heavy cream. So in my opinion, 19 grams of fat is not nearly a problem, nor are the calories, and we've got a good amount of protein. So I hope you did enjoy today's video. I know that I did. I look forward to cooking with you again soon. Take care, friends.